been in a coma for almost a year. We were beginning to lose hope.
But I didn't do it to myself.
Merry Christmas, Nick. I was actually gonna head up to MJ's cabin tomorrow. After everything that happened last year, it might be good to get out of town.
Why don't we all go to the cabin together?
We should get in the house. The snow's about to dump.
Well, are we gonna be okay?
We have enough food and booze for a lifetime.
Whoa. You know, you can tell us what happened that night.
You probably won't believe me.
Oh, try me.
Somebody tried to kill me.
It was Santa.
Santa Claus. Guys, Santa isn't real. And he doesn't wear a mask and go around killing people.
Tell everyone Santa is real.
We need help. Santa Claus is trying to kill us. As if a fat man in a silly red hat could decide whether we live or...
Welcome back to The Gory Gaze, the weekly horror podcast where two boyfriends slash up and bleed out your favorite horror movies.
Mostly, but not limited to the black sheep, underrated, and forgotten gems of the genre. I'm Stanley.
And I'm Alex. And I also forgot to mention maybe bi-weekly or monthly because we've just been so busy lately that we've just, we're here monthly.
Where are we? Where have we been? Life has been really erratic.
Yeah.
Lately, and it's not bad. It's just a matter of getting used to new routines, and I transitioned into a new job. I've been in my old job for almost 8 years, and I just started somewhere new about a month ago, which is why we decided just to take it easy for the rest of the year, since we had only released like one episode a month since October, just to finish off the year with one last episode. What a year.
Yeah, honestly, and we ended the year. That's why we've kind of been missing a bit, but we've just been busy with a lot of other things that we're trying to get one of our the last member of our family
Lord,
over just an age to where we can handle her without having to wonder what she has in her mouth every single second.
It's so interesting because I've only ever had senior dogs. Like all of my dogs, well, that's not true. Duke was a baby when I got him, but he was like 9 months. Mina is the first dog that I've ever had in my life where we've had her specifically since like 5 weeks. We've had her for a long time now, but since the beginning for her.
She's so perfect.
So we've had the really awesome opportunity and pleasure of like watching like a little thing grow. Like we're watching our little baby grow into a girl. It's also a fun transition.
We're talking about a little baby pug that we had just recently collected.
She was delivered by Stork.
Yes.
If you're not in the know just yet, we are going to be discussing Santa Isn't Real from last year. It's this little tiny cheap ass movie. Yeah, I don't know what made me want to cover this, because last year when we watched it, and we paid for it, I think we talked about it last year briefly, but we paid like $6 for this, and we didn't expect it to be awesome by any means.
It really is. It just feels like a film that is scripted and not yet put together as a movie, and you're kind of just reading the script and imagining, as you're reading it, like what's happening. So that's kind of what the movie feels like. If this movie had a better production, a little more money in it.
Yeah. Even if it had just better acting, I feel like that if the actors actually cared about what they were doing, I feel like, fuck. Hold on. Sorry.
I'll pick it up. But if this was a play, it'd probably play out better than a movie.
You know what? Like a really creepy little,
because it's a
Christmas
small cast
play.
at the end of the day, right?
It is. There's only like 4 or 5 people all together. Again, it's mostly the choices that the actors decide to make.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm using the term actors loosely because there's one particular gentleman in this movie that is not an actor and should never act again. I'm not here to criticize, but at the same time, we're reviewing this movie and we're letting you know that there are a few reasons to like this movie, just a few, but there are more reasons to not like it. And the actor who plays Nathan is the weakest link.
Yeah.
Like the most awful part of this film is that actor. And even the lead girl, I think her name is Kaya Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making that up? Yeah, Kaya Coleman. She drops in nicely every now and then.
But this is if you would say, like, if this was a class of actors, Zach Locke would be the director. The director of the film would be the professor of this class. This would be the newest member, the kid that you're talking about, of his class, because he had already worked with both of these girls previously in another film that he'd already directed, which is Float, that I actually watched.
Oh, that was the one that I had fallen asleep, and when I woke up, I saw her face again, and I was like, "What the hell are you watching?"
You're like, "Have you not finished it?" I'm like, "No, this is a whole nother movie that the same director from the movie that we're gonna break down right now did a different movie and used both of the same girls." I just wanted to see the difference in their acting and how far they've come since.
Well, what did you think about Kaya Coleman in the other movie?
Kaya Coleman's our lead here.
Yeah.
Yes, right. You know what? She was the weakest link in that movie.
I feel like she's kind of a weak link here too, because like her character's fine. Like the way that this is written, I'm sure it looked really good on paper. I'm sure it looked a lot better on paper, I guess I should say. But she's just not here for it. I feel weird saying that, but it's like you can tell who is committed and who isn't.
Yeah.
And I always wonder like what projects like this would have been like had it been taken seriously.
Yeah, the girl that plays her friend, Scarlett Sperduto.
Sperduto.
Yeah, she did a better job in this movie.
She's the best actress in this movie.
Like, she did a so much better job in this movie.
I think between her and Cissy Lee, it's probably Cissy Lee, who plays MJ, they are the more seasoned of the bunch, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah.
But, and again, I think that towards the end, we'll get there, but there are moments between Jess and Nikki that work really well, and they work really well together. But overall, like, none of these actors really have any chemistry together, and I feel like that they're just kind of doing their friend a favor by like, oh God, I guess we got to go make this shitty Christmas movie up in the woods, because it's shot well. You know, it's shot really nicely. It has really good cinematography, and it looks like a real movie. Like, it looks like they gave the budget to that, at least.
And yes, the story tells a good one too. Unfortunately,
it is
it's
a
how
good
you
story.
said, it's the actors and the some decisions that they've made.
Yeah, we watched this last year and then swore that we were never going to watch it again because it was pretty fucking stupid. But somehow, all year long, I've been thinking about this movie, and there are little glimpses here and there, but there are drone shots of like forest covered in snow,
honestly,
with one or two cars driving in opposite directions. Like, that stuff is really nice, and it's like
there's like channels on YouTube that are dedicated to these type of landscaped, scenery with like music in the background to help your mind relax. So it's such a relaxing movie as you speak, and now that you're breaking down these scenes, I'm like, it's actually really relaxing.
Yeah, it's got a lot of Christmas spirit, I suppose. And the mask is really creepy. That is always something that resonated with me after watching it the first time, which again I thought was going to be the only time.
Not only that, but the voice attached to it. The voice is the scariest part of the entire movie, which to me, I remember when we first met, like, you showed me this cartoon that was like this fiery devil that had that same exact voice.
Was it claymation?
It was.
It was the Mark Twain thing.
Yes, and it had that same voice, and it was a devil, and I was like, I related that same voice to that Santa Claus, and it just creeps me out every time I hear it now with that same mask. It's horrifying.
It's a really, really good combination, and that is also a plus in this movie. So again, that's why we're talking about it now, is because there are a few redeeming qualities that make it a good watch during the season, and I think we picked it this time, A, because it's so short, and B, because this time around I actually had like a little bit more fun with it, because I myself didn't take it seriously. I mean, why the fuck would I have the first time? Definitely didn't this time. And there is a few things to kind of chuckle about and have a good time with. So I wouldn't put this on the same list as like Elves bad and offensive, but it's still pretty bad. But enjoyable. It has
if you don't watch it a
things.
second or a third time, you're just not going to understand it the first time. Because the first time I was like, it was so confusing and kind of like, what is going on? Who is Santa Claus and what is happening?
It re-warrants a second watch. And I'm glad that we watched it a few more times because, again, a lot more fun. Do you have any favorite Christmas holiday horror movies while we're talking about this?
I don't know.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original. So fucking fun. Watch Black Christmas.
I would say to me, sorry, to go back to your question, would be Silent Night, Deadly Night. I feel like the beginning to end of that movie is really good for me. I think that would be one of my favorite horror movies.
It's such a nasty little movie.
It's okay.
It's such a nasty little movie. We also did an episode on part 5 last year, you guys, so go listen to that. I know that this is totally off topic, but I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, happy belated Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, it's been since.
We haven't done an episode since Thanksgiving. But that was what I wanted to say.
Did you guys like your Thanksgiving? Happy Thanksgiving movie on Christmas
and now
is in a
it's
week.
Christmas. And yeah, so another movie that we watched recently, not horror related, not Christmas horror related at all, was The Last Showgirl with Pamela Anderson and Jamie Lee Curtis. It was really good.
On our last podcast, we talked about Honora.
I think we did.
I think we did, yeah.
I think we did.
It hadn't been that long, but I think if you watch Honora and this one as a double feature, The Last Showgirl, ooh.
Good companion pieces. And both of these performances, both of the lead performances are nominated for Golden Globes this year. And going back to horror, Hugh Grant is nominated for Best Actor in a musical or comedy, which is, that's where they put horror all the time, if they are to nominate it. We have Demi Moore nominated for Best Actress. We have Margaret Qualley nominated for Best Supporting Actress. We have The Substance nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay. And I think that's so cool that the Golden Globes are
recognizing these comedy musicals as
it's just
Golden Globe worthy or even Oscar worthy.
I mean, you find yourself laughing in movies like The Substance because it's uncomfortable and it's weird and it's gross. But by no means are these movies funny. So but I'm glad that they're at least getting attention. It gives me hope for the future. I'm really hoping that Nicolas Cage gets a Best Supporting Actor nod for the Oscars. I love award stuff.
We have award shows here, parties, believe it or not.
We do. We print off ballots and stuff.
So?
Yeah, we don't drink anymore, but...
And guess who always wins?
Not even me.
Between you and I.
It's like hopeful.
That's right.
It's just hopeful
you were so sad.
Yeah, because I just wanted things to win. I went against the grain and I was just like, I want this. And, a lot of it didn't go my way.
Watch the preview of coming events.
I'm so excited for Nosferatu.
Yeah.
That's like the next movie we're going to go see in theaters. I think we're going on Christmas Day. I had watched both the 1970s version with Klaus Kinski and Shadow of the Vampire recently. So I've recently seen 2 different performances of Count Orlok. So I'm really pumped.
You guys, The Last Showgirl, I'm sorry to go back to that movie. It was playing at Century City, which is the only theater that's playing this movie right now. So if y'all don't get to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But go see it. Yeah. I think that it's going to make a big difference.
Honestly, if you we bought a ticket for it, we went in there and we came out with completely something else that they sold us because both of us were like, that is not the movie I expected to go, to go in watching, and came out with something else. But either way, fucking great movie.
Yeah, I implore all of you, watch independent movies, give art house movies a chance, and really go sit in a theater and enjoy it. That's like one of our favorite things to do.
Oh my gosh.
Go to the movies. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Wicked.
No, I thought we weren't, but yes, of course we have to talk about Wicked and director John Chu,
we have to talk about. Oh my God, John Chu's my friend.
He is your friend.
I say friend, but he's not. Like, I served him once, he tipped great, and I had told him I was excited for Wicked, and he told me that at that time that it was going to be huge, and he was right. Oh, he was right.
What were we just talking about?
Oh my God, you guys, what a gift.
Yeah, honestly, great fucking movie. I cried the entire time. I know that's kind of weird, but like...
It's not weird.
It's such a fucking good movie, and they did such a good job with it. Every single thing about it is exactly how the play is a musical, and I'm in love with it. I can't stop singing it.
Yeah, I'm excited for part 2, for sure. And we're both big fans of The Wizard of Oz, so it could have went one way or another for us, but thankfully it went the right way. Before we get into the movie, which I know we're jumping back and forth, I think we're both just kind of excited to be back in the game. It's Christmas, you're right. I do want to give a little recognition to my cousin Cassie, who made us our t-shirts.
And they look great. We were sporting them last night.
Yeah, we went out yesterday and wore them to the Mystic Museum so we can go to the Horror High reunion. It was a fun little pop-up. They switch it out like every year. that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got to wear the shirts and represent.
Yeah, super cool.
So that also inspired us to jump back on and finally get this episode out of the way. That, and I only paid for 2 hours of Buzzsprout this month.
Oh god. Talk less. Talk less.
Talk less. Okay, this is the last thing. I swear. Yesterday, or the day before yesterday.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Yeah, because everything goes back to Pet Sematary, guys.
This all started on Tuesday.
Everything. So we are driving just aimlessly all over the place. We end up in Fillmore at a thrift store. Prior to getting out of the car, I had fallen asleep, and Alex had muttered something like a reference to Pet Sematary, and in my sleep, I responded to him with like the Judd voice.
I was driving, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, clearly I wasn't sleeping at the wheel. Maybe, depending.
I know.
But I responded to like that, the road. And I don't remember doing it. But we got to Fillmore, parked, went into a thrift store, went into a different thrift store. And Alex ended up going down some fucking hallway and disappearing. And I followed him. And there was a hardcover copy of Pet Sematary. It turns out it's a first print edition, which is not necessarily a first edition. It's like a later print. Same year, everything. It has a Y code in it. And for dummy collectors like myself, like I know what that means. I was like blown away because it was only $20. And you can find them, I guess, for like $70 or $80. And some people just want to get rid of them, so they'll probably sell them for $25.
But this one found you.
This one found me, and it was addressed to somebody named Scott, wishing them a Merry Christmas, XXX 1983, which also gave me hope that it was actually a 1983 edition, which is when the book was published. Anyway, I bought it, and on the way home, I read a lot of it to Alex. The next day, we're driving to Griffith. We're trying to park. Some asshole security guard tells us we can't park there because they're filming something. So we go back down into a little cul-de-sac area where they're still filming, but they allow us to enter. And as we're entering, to my right, I see a short kid with a beard and a hat on. And I immediately tell Alex, oh my God, that's Miko Hughes. And for those of you who don't know, which you probably do, Miko Hughes played Gage Creed in Pet Sematary, the 1989 movie, which is my favorite fucking horror film of all time. So I had like a little panic attack. We parked, and I just had to go speak to him. So I went to him and showed him my tattoo, the Pet Sematary VHS tattoo that Aaron gave me years ago. He liked it. He introduced himself to us. It was a really cute experience. Yeah. And then I got really excited and messaged him on Instagram and was like, yo, thanks for being so nice. Like, how ironic that this happened. And I told him the same story. And it
was definitely, like he said in his words to your message, very cosmic.
Yeah, and that like I made his day, and that made me really happy. So
yeah, that's super fucking cool though. Like that was such an amazing experience within these 2 days. How all that happened. This guy literally said, "You can't park here," so we're like, "Okay, fuck you." So we drove down the hill, went to this cul-de-sac. We're like busting through these securities. We just want to walk our dogs, and sure enough, there we go.
It's so universal, and it's weird because Pet Sematary just follows me everywhere. It's in my everyday motherfucking life.
Every single podcast I think we mention it.
So what I'm going to do here, it all starts with that. It always goes back to Pet Sematary. So I'm going to just give a shout out to Miko Hughes for being so fucking cool. And tell him to listen to this episode. I'll tag him. Yeah. I'll tag him just so he can have a cute little blurb.
Yeah, listen to it while you're editing.
Be on our show. All right, so let's get into this fucking movie. I'm not trying to avoid it, because I am excited to talk about it. Like this part, for instance. Like, come on. He knows.
Betrayal.
This is
betrayal. How dare they?
But let's get into the people under the stairs, shall we?
Okay.
All right.
The people under the stairs.
That's me already?
That's you.
Okay.
You're the person under the stairs.
Okay, so here we go. Santa Isn't Real. Directed by Zach Locke, who had previously executive produced the 2018 remake of Black Christmas, of course.
Is it 2018 or 2019?
I read 2018.
Okay, cool.
From wherever I found it.
I think it came out in 2019.
You don't want to correct
anyone.
me. You don't want to correct me. You want to correct them.
Yeah, you're right. But also, terrible film.
Yeah. Honestly, I was telling you though, but the people that have watched this one or grew up with this one will probably tell you otherwise or suggest otherwise.
But see, here is the thing. It's like, I'm sorry to interrupt you already, but I wanted to watch this again. So it had some sort of fucking charm the first time.
I'm telling you. Anyway. So, just because you compare them, but people that have grown up with the 2018 remake will say, no, you're wrong.
Oh, wait, are you talking about Black Christmas or this movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
You confuse me. Anyways, yes, a screenplay by Zach Locke, of course, the director, producers, Zach Locke and Mikey Bill, Taylor, Justin Anderson, and Jordan McCowder scores that. I don't know how to say that. Anywho, sorry, production companies, we have Rotten Press and The Straits, and cinematography done by Sean Conley.
Bravo, Sean Conley.
Bravo, bravissimo.
A+.
We have our editor, Samuel Gonzalez Jr.
You did what you could.
What happened?
Samuel Gonzalez.
Samuel. I have production designer Liz Giz.
Also did what you
Guys.
could. See, that kind of stuff, love it. Like that's. I mean, I'm even gonna say I love it.
I would say
It's okay. There's. It looks like a nicely made film.
it looks like a cabin, Airbnb, friends.
Yeah.
Every single thing plays its role. Yeah, I agree.
It's got
The
that
placement-
Christmas horror thing like down.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree. And a release date on this film, I have 12/8/2023, unless Stanley suggests otherwise.
I mean, that's probably when we even watched it.
Probably.
You know,
Right.
I remember they were going to do. It was like a poll. Back from when we hung out with, those guys. Because every year we did a double screening of Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night, like as far as me knowing them. So last year they had suggested to omit one of them and watch this one. And I think that's what they ended up watching. Yeah. And since we couldn't make it, that's why we watched it at home. I know. Fuck.
So,
one day.
Yes. Then we have, I believe, if I'm not missing anything else from production, we go with our stars, which we have Kaya Coleman, who plays our lead actress, Nikki, the Santa Claus, the killer.
Oh my God, you just spoiled everything already.
Well,
Santa
that's
Claus
what we
the
do.
Killer.
No, because it's in her head. It's this whole thing. We'll get there. We'll break it down.
But also, no, it's fine. Remember how the other day we're just cruising on Facebook? We see my friend Maya, and then we see this girl's face, and she's sitting with her at Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah. So, like, what the fuck? What a small world, right?
That is kind of cool.
Okay, so Kaya Coleman.
So, yes, Kaya Coleman, as I had already said, transferred over from the 2022 film Float and delivered a layered performance as our lead Nikki here in this movie. We have Cece Lee as MJ, and then we have Scarlett Sperduto as Jess.
VIP.
She's
a very important person.
Sorry, we have Trey Anderson as Nathan.
Worst actor in the world. He's not even an actor.
Really? Because then we have Michelle Damas as Mom.
Oh, the voice. We have her voice.
Yes.
Okay.
David Mitchum as the Reverend. And then William Earl Ray as Sheriff.
I don't know if you have it on your end, but we have Dana Milliken, who plays the doctor at the beginning of the movie. Or she and Cissy Lee Lai. They were both in that movie Soft and Quiet. Do you remember that movie about the girls who are like forming basically a supremacist group?
I think
I think it was just like really uncomfortable and like just gross, like a display of human
just
human
our taste.
nature. Like it's but
our taste.
I recommend everyone trying it out, sure. But they are both in that movie and they both give really good performances. And how are they connected to this film otherwise? Did he maybe have something to do with that movie? I don't know. I think that was directed by a woman.
I don't know. I don't know nothing.
Anyways.
Okay. I have ratings coming up. So for IMDb, I have a rating of 3.3.
That's funny.
Would you agree?
It's generous.
It is generous.
It's generous.
Obviously, that is generous. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 6 out of 10, even more generous.
What in the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's for the matching pajamas that they all end up wearing.
It's honestly, you guys, somebody out there really likes this movie because it's not that bad. It's just that we want better, and we deserve better.
And I feel like when we watch it, it's like we expect something different. We want it to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's going to be a sequel called Santa Is Real.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe we should have put something at the beginning of this episode for anybody who happens to listen to us with kids. I guess listen to this on low.
Yeah.
Because we're covering a movie called Santa Isn't Real. And we're going to be saying that over and over again, probably. And we're also going to be slashing up and bleeding it out, which means we're going to spoil the fucking shit out of it.
I already did.
I know. So get over it. She's the killer.
Big whoop. What else could I find on this film? There wasn't much really. Running time, I have 76 minutes.
Thank God.
Hey. Okay, already.
I mean, it's a direct to streaming movie. It's made on the low budget.
We watched it 3 times, you guys.
We have watched it a few times.
That's about as much as I actually have.
All right, cool. Well, fuck it.
Yeah, really.
We should just get into it since we spent most of our time talking about The Last Showgirl. Oh, also, I want to say that since Honora is getting some recognition this year as far as Mikey Madison's performance, don't forget, motherfuckers, she was heavily involved in Scream 5.
Who was she in Scream 5?
Fuck you, Amber. I'm not the fucking killer.
I know.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah. Little budget movie. Not a lot of production history. Do you have any good like Christmas stories prior though that you want to share? As far as like growing up, what did you guys do for Christmas every year? This is our Christmas episode.
Well, I loved Christmas growing up. Like, it was such a tradition at our house to like just celebrate Christmas. There was never a bad moment in our house for Christmas. It was always so good. We did like the whole church thing and like then, go to these community events where we all like, drink hot chocolate and sing. And our upbringing during Christmas, our upbringing during Christmas was super fucking fun. Like, I loved every single moment of Christmas during
I like that so much. Yeah, I loved going to my grandma Millie's for Christmas because usually I think we would go there on Christmas Eve quite often and then do Christmas morning there and then go back to my mom's, or maybe it was the other way around. I can't really remember, but all the pictures from my childhood at my grandma Millie's house are so nice. And from the memories I have, like the tree was always real. It was always good. Not a knock on our fake tree because our fake tree is fucking beautiful.
It is beautiful.
You have a good eye for Christmas. Like you're really good at like interior design at anyway, but as far as the holidays go, you really knock Christmas out of the fucking park.
I know. I try to change it up every single year, but it's like I love Christmas and I feel like I'm those people that like every single inch of the house should be touched by Christmas.
Yeah.
Literally every single thing has to have at least Christmas in it. The bathroom, the kitchen, the hallway, something.
And for our tiny little place, like we have just enough and it works.
Yeah.
Just enough.
It looks like a fucking greeting card in here.
It does. A nice one. An old-fashioned nice one. Oh, by the way, I don't know if anybody who listens to this is like actual snail mail receivers from us in real life, but you're not getting any Christmas cards this year.
Boo.
Just a heads up. That's just where we're at. Love you.
We're cutting back.
we made cutbacks.
Company cutbacks, yeah.
We're spending money on t-shirts instead. If you want one, let us know. We're going to get more stuff made for us personally so we can dole it out to anybody who actually gives a fuck. So that's that.
Are you done Christmas shopping?
Fuck. I am actually. I have 2 things that should be here tomorrow. And I mean, I really only bought for you.
How you motherfucking say you're done and then you're like, I have 2 things showing up still?
I mean, I'm pretty done.
Are you ever done really? Like, are you those shoppers that just shops up until the day of?
I'm kind of a last minute guy, like, but I succeed at the last minute when it comes to Christmas. I always pull through.
But last minute means like the day before. You're shopping every single motherfucking day. There's like a package showing up.
Well, girl, thankfully I work at a mall as well. So holla. I do. I have some advantages.
He doesn't work at a mall. He works at the mother mall.
Oh my God. It's so weird to go back in time. You guys, 20 years ago, I worked at this like outdoor mall location where I am now working again. I'm not going to say where. It's just like full circle, just like the whole Miko Hughes thing. Like my life just comes full circle in so many ways. And I'm so just grateful. I'm so thankful.
Oh,
so thankful to be here. Let's talk about Santa Isn't Real.
You have unfinished business. That's why you keep coming back.
You know.
You make full circle.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. Santa Isn't Real goes like this.
Neck shore, burst and burn. What is she doing? Just
okay.
What was that?
Sorry, lost my notes. There they go. So we open inside a snow globe containing a pretty nice Christmas scenery.
And it's the Cyndi Lauper's last tour concert.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about our Cyndi Lauper experience.
We did it, you guys, but we went to go see her.
We did. Go see Cyndi Lauper.
Fucking amazing show.
Don't watch this. Go see Cyndi Lauper. I hope she just actually retires and doesn't do what Cher does.
She just wants her money and she'll be back.
Yeah, but I love Cyndi Lauper. I'll see her again if she does come back. But I think if she does choose to end on this note, she's ending well.
Yeah,
she's
honestly, she fucking throws a good show.
So we zoom out and get a song that was no doubtedly made for this movie. And that's something we should point out. The entire soundtrack, all the songs you hear are written for the film by a band. I wrote the name down. I'll find it.
Kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. I like that it's so involved. You know, like the people like really came together to make this happen. And that's a confirmation, I think. So we are in Nikki's living room, and Nikki is Kaya Coleman. And she's getting crunk on eggnog and rum.
It's super familiar. It does remind me of how I used to spend my drunko holiday days, self-loathing, and it just honestly reminds me of.
I love eggnog, but I don't like rum. I would have rather just shot vodka and then just chased it.
Yeah,
gross. So she is ignoring a text from her boyfriend Nathan. He wants to fuck, and she clearly doesn't. So she tosses her bottle of Zoloft to the wind.
Get out of here.
And we get the idea very quickly that homegirl is not mentally with it. I love the setting. I like how it looks like it was dressed up specifically for this in the corner of some little tiny apartment in North Hollywood.
Yeah, really.
But somehow it works. And this is the kind of setting that reminds me of my Grandma Millie's.
No, really, it's such a good, like, we're watching it right now. It's 1:51 p.m. daylight, 81 degrees outside, and you're totally transported into the film anyways. Like, you go to the snow, everything turns a hue of blue, like you're in the fucking movie.
Yeah,
it's that good.
It's shot really nicely, like I said.
Oh, you could have just said that, huh?
Oh, well, no, I mean, I love the reiteration. You're so passionate when you talk.
Oh my God.
Okay, so the clock strikes midnight, and from behind Nikki, we see Santa's feet and legs descend from the fireplace. And I think that this is actually creepy. Like, this kind of stuff, when it does happen in this movie, is really effective and really cool. And this is one of the reasons to watch it, is because of just this alone, this little image. And we'll get it again a couple of times.
Yeah. It is an intriguing opening that'll keep you glued.
Nikki is then viciously attacked by a person in a Santa outfit. He's wearing a horrible mask and even chanting ho, ho, ho in this really scary demonic voice. And then he slashes her up and hits her over the head with the snow globe. Oh, the snow globe, the one that we opened with.
Yeah.
In the way that Santa touches his nose. Ooh, I love that. I love it so much. The cinematography is done by who? Sean Collis.
Excuse me?
What's his name?
Don't talk to me
Whoever
like
did
that.
it, really good for the low budget. The visuals in this opening are really fun. So yeah, Santa heads back up the chimney, leaving Nikki to die. There's our opening. What are your thoughts right off the bat?
I was confused as of already, but then the deeper you go into the film, then you start understanding what the opening was about. And then you kind of get it. You kind of fucking get it. Like, we all have Santa Claus inside of us, because we're all gift givers.
But motherfucker, I don't want this to be in her head. Like, I want this to be real. So I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, how spooky. Some motherfucker actually came down her chimney to attack her. So maybe there's something deeper that we're going to get later on. But spoiler, there's not.
Oh, shit. What happens? Title card year later?
We get the title card. It is a year later. And, oh, she's in a coma. Yeah. She has been in a coma for a year because the artery that they cut, or that Santa Claus cut, did something to where she lost an enormous amount of blood. And yeah, that's where she's at now. She's been asleep for one whole year and wakes up right around Christmas Eve.
I can't believe it. Like,
everybody thinks that she tried to kill herself.
A year later?
A year later. He cut her deep. And it turns out that her friends have kind of just moved on without her. Like, they've come to visit her. They've come to leave flowers and stuff. But everybody just is kind of nonchalant when she does finally wake up, because I don't think they ever expected her to.
But you know what? What is the parental guidance on this movie, speaking of? Since
I'm sure it's
Santa Claus related.
I'm sure it's rated R if it had a rating. I don't think
Does
the
it have nudity?
MPAA went out of their way.
Oh.
No, but it has like that scene of like oral sex. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Imaginaries. That's who does the songs in this movie.
The band.
They're called the Imaginaries, and they write some Christmas bops. Christmas bops, guys.
It's what kept this movie alive.
Do you think that the town, like the little town they're in, reminds you of not Juneau, you've never been, but Portland, like Gresham?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, never mind.
Gresham's pretty. It's nice. It's a really good
Oh,
town.
I think wherever this was filmed is pretty.
Well, yeah, but it's also snowing, and I've never seen Gresham during the snow. So.
I guess you're right. Okay, touche. She has the most aggressive scar on her arm. Like Santa used like a letter opener, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a knife from her kitchen. But again, everybody thinks that she tried to commit suicide. Her boyfriend Nathan arrives with Jess, and this is Trey Anderson and Scarlett Sperduto. Again, Scarlett Sperduto is the much better actor here, so do not expect anything from our boy.
Or anybody else.
Our boy. I think Kaya Coleman drops in every now and then.
She's okay.
She does. And Sissy Leela.
Only when she's dressed up as...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Saint
Yeah.
Nick.
So, like, towards the end of this short little fiesta.
If that's even her in there.
I thought about that, too. Because in all the Scream movies, it's always a different actor. It's never like the actual people who are the killers in those movies.
I have no doubt it's not her inside. Like, honest to God, I do see her playing that.
I love it.
Anyways.
I mean, if that's the case, she probably had more fun doing that. Because we didn't know she was in this movie. I feel like she didn't do any promo for this movie. I looked at her Instagram. She didn't even drop a trailer. Scarlett Sperduto did.
But
So
she
I
did
like
a good
it.
job.
You're right, though.
Yeah. She's like, watch my movie. Watch
That's
my
so
movie.
Funny. Okay, so the nurse, who is Dana Milliken, she's the
You're
one
supporting her so much.
Who?
Dana Milliken.
I love her. She was so good and soft and quiet, dude.
And it's funny because I had mentioned the cast and you're like, did we forget or did we mention?
I had her written down. I did. So she's the nurse here, and she wants Nikki to stay, but Nikki declines and goes home because she can't be held there against her will. And I love that she has crutches. I didn't think about the fact that it's probably because she hasn't been on her feet in so long.
Yeah.
But for someone who just woke up after a year, she's pretty fucking with it.
It's called muscle something, right? Like
sensory
trophy, muscle
memory?
trophy,
Muscle
something.
dystrophy?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when you lose a loss of muscle. So
I
you have to go through therapy and all that.
Oh.
Yeah, like your muscles actually dehydrate.
No.
See?
So Nathan and Jess show up. It's awkward. We can all pretty much tell that Jess and Nathan are doing it right off the bat, but the movie goes out of its way to try to hide that, even though they don't have to. Like, it's just very obvious, like, what's happening or what has been happening. So Nikki asks them if they're going to do their traditional Christmas Eve dinner, but Jess and Nathan are going to a cabin in the snow to celebrate with another friend of theirs, MJ.
That bitch.
I love how much Nathan tries to convince her to stay in the house where she was almost butchered, where he's like, no, just stay home. Go home. Like, we'll go do this and you go do that. And I would think that you would want to go home after being a year in the hospital in a coma. Wouldn't you want to go spend time with your family? I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to spend time with my douchebag boyfriend and best friend.
It's true, but when I was a youngin', my teenage years, I considered my circle of friends my family. Like, I didn't want to be home. If anything, I would rather be with them because they know everything about me as opposed to all the secrets I held from my family.
All right.
They know the real me.
Touche.
Santa is real, Toto.
Oh my God. I want to show you some pictures from my childhood Christmases when I was short and fat and chubby. And I had my little stuffed animal Snowball waking up on Christmas morning all fat and excited for my impending Grease 2 soundtrack.
You were a child, for God's sakes.
Okay, so we get this narration from the nurse explaining that Nikki suffered cerebral hypoxia because when she got slashed on the arm, it cut tendons that led to her brain, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then we end up in the woods at MJ's cabin. MJ's cool. I really like MJ as a character, and I think that the actress does a really nice job too. And she's gay. I like that. I mean, her character is. I don't know if she is, but I like that there's an out and proud little lesbian up in here. So she's the one who owns the cabin. Did I say Dana Milliken?
You sure did.
No. Did I say her name? I meant correctly. I didn't
No.
Sorry.
You're
It's
fine.
Dana Milliken. Where you at, girl? I just had that written down again, so something came up. Okay, so we're anticipating a snowstorm, right?
Yes.
Like, even as the people watching this movie were just waiting for something bad to happen, and a snowstorm is coming. But it's funny because right as they get there, it's like a sunshining day. There is no snow to be seen, and then like moments later, they're in a blizzard.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
They're stuck there. They can't leave.
It's
nobody can go out. Nobody can come in.
Exactly. It's a good setup. This reminds me of a short story that Christine Sheeler, hey girl, would have written in like the 8th grade, but her story would have been a lot better. I honestly feel like they took one of her short stories and made it into this. Maybe we know Zach Locke. Maybe, hey Zach, do we know you?
Maybe Zach Locke is just a company.
Are you a pseudonym for someone that we shared 8th grade English with?
Is that you? Santa isn't real.
Oh no. Okay, so while we're all out in the living room playing catch up, Nikki decides to tell everybody that she and Nathan are going to go get down in the other room. But Nathan doesn't want to, and we get a humorous intercut as Nathan keeps looking back and forth from Nikki to Jess, who be slobbering all over that candy cane like it was a pee-pee. You see that imagery? She is literally sucking the candy cane like it was a dick.
That's what I do to mine. I mean, there's no other way.
Well, I guess that is what we do. We have no more candy canes left on this tree.
We have one, and I'm eyeing it right now. Don't you dare.
I can't see it, but if I find it, it's mine.
No, I suck mine till it's pointy and fucking sharp as shit.
That's what's up. So Nathan also tells Nikki that the doctor said that they have to wait a month before they can knock the boots. He even says he wants to decorate the tree first. Like he would rather decorate the tree than fuck his girl.
Get away from me.
Outside, we spend some time on an icicle that's hanging from the gutters. This is a Christmas horror movie, after all.
Death by an icicle. It's a real thing.
I don't think it happens in this movie.
Not in this movie.
Yeah, but it is fun when it does happen. MJ and the rest of them get the story of what really happened to Nikki from the horse's mouth. And I wish this monologue was better. I wish that Nikki cared. Or Kaya cared. I'm sure Nikki is a well-written character.
Yeah.
Nikki is a well-written character. All these characters are kind of well-written. But it's just the performance, man. It's all about the performance.
Yeah, really did.
And they do a lot of focusing on Nathan being Jewish. Did you catch that?
No,
he looks like Corey from season 2 of American Idol.
Oh my gosh.
Corey.
You're going way back.
Corey something. What was his name? Corey Davis. He also came out later saying that Paula Abdul and he had a sexual relationship. He was trying to get some notice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give that guy no mind. So everyone's reaction when she says that it was Santa that tried to kill her is pretty funny.
That story that she's telling them?
Yeah, when she's explaining to them what happened in her living room that one night.
Well, the way she says it is like, crazy bitch. No.
Yeah, and then we get Jess, who says the title of the movie. She says, guys, Santa isn't real.
Uh-huh.
She does not believe in Nikki's story at all. And she's just there to get down with Nathan behind her back. We get a rundown of Santa Claus's nasty-ass history. We get Satan equaling Santa Claus. We get some definition of Krampus, who is Santa's evil assistant. And we also get Iceland's version of Santa Claus, which I do not remember. And I love how MJ is kind of on Nikki's side. And we'll get a little bit more about that later, about how she had some sort of experience with Santa Claus. And I like it when they go deeper into that. I wish they would have given us more of that, actually. Mm. That would have been kind of cool. Where are we at? Nikki wakes up from a nightmare and then goes to sneak around the house because I guess she went to sleep.
Why would she do that?
Because they won't even let her have any... that might be later.
No sex.
But they also don't give her any alcohol because they tell her that she shouldn't be mixing her alcohol with the medication.
And
so
because she's not even used to solid foods yet. Girl, you've been IV'd all year long.
She's been out of a coma / the hospital for a minute and a half.
I know. You need a wheelchair therapy and fucking soup.
It's nuts. It's nuts just how fast everything happens. And I imagine that the time frame of this movie is a day or two. And if it's any longer than that, then shame on us because I don't know. Bless you. So yeah, Nikki had fallen asleep, wakes up, and then goes to sneak around the house and finds Jess and Nathan getting down.
And by down, we mean Sam.
He's going down.
Somebody's eating Santa's cookie.
And it turns out MJ knew the whole time. But
she
Nikki,
played it off so well. What a bitch.
She did. She pretended at first that she was surprised, but they call her out. And they're like, bitch, you knew everything. So this was just their collective little secret. now Nikki is aware, but Nikki does this weird flip where she's like, oh, it's okay. I understand that I was in a coma for a long time, so it makes sense that you guys did this. But she expects for her and Nathan just to continue their relationship, which is very fucking awkward and weird.
This is where we go crazy.
And so Nikki plays it off like everything's fine and says this is going to be the best Christmas ever. And then she goes to call her mom. And I really like this scene because she calls her mom. Part of me wondered if this was something that was in her head as well, because she's talking to her mother on the phone and her mom like wants nothing to do with her and has like guests over for the holiday. And she mentions the snowstorm that's coming. And she's like, as long as you guys are okay, like I'll let you go now.
And this is what I mean by her seeing her group of friends as family as opposed to her family as family.
Yeah, I guess so. But I thought that maybe she and her mom got along because at the beginning of the movie, there are 2 stockings in her living room above the chimney. And it says her name on one and then Marge on the other. So I just figured that Marge is her mom and that they at least spent Christmas together last year.
I heard it's one of those situations where mom's either working or out on vacation, but just doesn't care about the child.
I like it when
the child just waits there for mom.
Yeah, I like it when she says, as my mom, you were my last tether to reality. But at that point, she had already hung up with her mother and she's just talking to dead air. And she has that whole minute where she's just like, okay, well, this fucking sucks and I'm miserable and everybody has moved on without me. I really like that moment for her. I wish that we got this Nikki the entire time because like I said, she drops in nicely on occasion. And this is one of the rare occasions. Anyway, you can tell something is flipped as she hangs up the phone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. After she hangs up, she still keeps talking to her mom.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm obsessed with the flip. The flip is so good. And it kind of gave me hope, especially during the first time watching this, that she was going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't.
Spoiler.
So downstairs, we're in matching Christmas pajamas and we're playing charades. I had written a note that it's just so interesting how quickly these people move on.
Honestly,
everything's fine.
Nikki's the only one sitting there without pajamas.
It's like she can't get her pants off. So she's in the same outfit the entire time. Even when she wakes up from her nap, she's in the same clothes. This velvety Christmas sweater and jeans. She did not want to participate.
Is it all a dream? Is she still in a coma?
You know what? Maybe so. Maybe we'll find out in the sequel.
Oh.
Remember. We're supposed to get a sequel. I'll investigate that more. Maybe I'm talking shit, but I really feel like that I read that there was going to be a sequel somewhere.
I don't see why not.
We learned that there's a church nearby for Jess to go celebrate midnight mass at because that's what she's into. And you and I are going to do that on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. How exciting. It is Jess's family tradition. MJ mentions the priest there is weird and the location is spooky, so to be careful when that time does come. But she and Nikki will not be attending. And then they do this weird Secret Santa exchange. And MJ gets a big old fucking dildo. And then Nikki opens her gift. And it's a butcher knife. Presumably the one that was used to cut her up. I mean, why not?
Yeah, it's one of those, who did this? Who did this moment?
But they move on again like it never fucking happened. We just skim right over it, though. No one fucking cares. And then we get our Scream 3 moment and all the lights go off. And I love that.
And this is when things start getting bloody.
Yeah, and it's funny though because the lights go off and immediately Nikki disappears. Like she's just gone, and they're like, "Where's Nikki?" And it's like, "Oh shit, where is Nikki?" Like she was literally just there.
In Germany, that's the name of the movie, Bloody Santa.
That's what this movie's called. It has a different title.
It has a different title
somewhere.
Yes.
That's stupid.
In Germany,
please. I did look for it on Blu-ray.
You asshole.
I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Nikki disappears, but don't worry, they're all going to work together and separate and figure out what's going on. It's really right about here, though, that I personally realized this would have been a better shorter movie. Like
it's how long? Like a minute and 15?
A minute and 15.
I mean, an hour and 15?
It's an hour and 15.
It should have been 15.
It should have been maybe 15, 20. I think they could have got their point across. Speaking of short films and speaking of Miko Hughes, we watched Dylan's New Nightmare, which was a short movie that he was a huge part of. It's based off of his character Dylan from Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
It's pretty dope.
He didn't write it or direct it. I thought that he did. It's written and directed by somebody else, but he is the star of this movie. It's set, obviously, some odd years later.
Yeah, it picks up pretty well.
And it's a really good continuation. And that's a movie where it's like, I wanted more of that. It was like 30 minutes, and it could have been. I wanted a full length feature of that because that would have been a lot of fun. But this movie could have digressed itself by maybe 15 minutes, even maybe even 15 minutes. It could have been one of those episodes that they have on Shudder, those random Christmas episodes that are like 30 minutes to 45 minutes long.
Or I'll take a YouTube short.
Yeah, there we go. And here we are. We like it.
It's a cool movie.
Like
Watch it. We watched it 3 times.
So Nikki reappears, and she and Nathan have yet another personal convo in front of everyone, this time about what went wrong and why Nathan wasn't happy. It sounds like Nikki sort of sucked. She didn't want him to hang out with his friends. She only wanted to hang out with her friends. It was always like her time.
What makes her friendly?
She doesn't have any fucking personality.
Exactly. So it's
and
like you kind of just let her hang out. Really, not like don't invite her to hang out. She just kind of hangs out.
But she imposed on this. She like made it weird, and she was like, "Well, I'm coming too. Like I'm gonna come," but she just doesn't seem like someone that anybody would want to actually be friends with.
No, not really. But it's somebody that we all know.
It totally
Unfortunately
is. Oh my god, you are not wrong.
Neither are you. Or is it either?
Either or either. We've been watching Dead to Me, and we keep hearing either character say either or either differently. And it's driving me nuts. So what is it? Is it either or either? Is it neither or neither? Is it different contextually? Like, are we just idiots?
I don't think it matters. Neither.
Yeah, you're right.
Either.
Okay. So she leaves again and is screaming from somewhere in the house while the starlight goes nuts. What does that mean?
The starlight
goes nuts. What does that mean? She leaves again and is screaming from somewhere in the house while the starlight goes nuts. Maybe flashlight?
Oh, is there like a starlight?
Maybe flashlight. I don't know what that
in the
note
background,
means.
Maybe there's like a starlight.
I'm going to leave that in. I don't know what the fuck that is, though. So Nate...
I have the same shit on my notes. I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? Honest to God, I don't know how to put together what I wrote in my notes.
Do I. And usually I'm really good at like writing out like descriptive plot points and stuff like that. But this time I just wrote, I love MJ, devils, love the Jesus.
That's
like,
it's so crazy because I'm trying to explain things and I'm like, don't say that. Do not, because you don't even know what the fuck you're trying to say.
We get into audio commentary mode sometimes.
And my gosh, it's so aggravating because it was like good at the moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, bring this up, talk about this. And I thought that by writing it as a shorter little bullet point, it would get me there. Nope. I have no fucking idea what that is.
Okay, so Nathan goes to look for her, and by her I mean Nikki, and he's wearing these Papa Bear slippers that I used to have.
Everybody has those
slippers.
Everybody gets those fucking Papa Bear slippers.
Every
for Christmas.
time I see those, I get really excited, and they're comfortable as fuck.
Sorry,
they're so
my
comfy.
nose is running. Let me
go get it, girl. You're fine.
Let me go catch it.
You're good. Go catch it. I'm not even gonna press pause. I'm just gonna keep sitting here for just a brief moment in time. Oh, he's back, guys.
I'm back. Sheriff made a quick move.
Okay, so Nikki, is dragged away by an unseen force, and Nathan continues after her. And I think this is the part also where he sees a Santa Claus dress figure going in the woods. So I think that's what drags Nikki away, if I remember correctly.
So much drag.
What the fuck? Dad dealership. Oh, okay, I remember. So MJ finally gives the story of why she actually believes in Santa Claus as well. She gives it to Jess's character while they're sitting with those little electrical candles in the dark waiting for the electricity to come back on. And she explains to Jess that her dad got fired from the dealership that he was working at. They were to get no presents that year. Her and her family were really upset and depressed about it. And then on Christmas morning, she woke up and there were presents everywhere. And it led to like her parents divorcing, and her mom got the cabin that they're in right now in the divorce. And it's because the dad thought that maybe she was having an affair and that they were like making fun of him behind his back by buying all these extravagant presents for the kids. That night on Christmas Eve, she had heard clacking, like sleigh bells and stuff on the roof. It's a really creepy moment, and it's a really good performance from Sissy Lee.
Same boat.
So yeah, she thinks that was Santa Claus, and I think when the story has these moments, it's really good.
When you describe it like that, it kind of makes you feel like, what movie is this again? I want to watch it. But then,
it has random moments of effectiveness that work, and then when it doesn't work, it just doesn't fucking work. I do love the Jesus Santa comparison. MJ gives to Jess as well, where she's like, well, you know what? If you believe in one, you have to believe in the other. And Jesus and Santa are so much alike. And when I was a kid, I got them confused as well. Yeah. Like they're both very similar in description when it comes down to it, right?
Uh-huh.
Did you ever have that problem as a kid?
No.
Oh, it's because you're Catholic.
Only you.
It's because you're Catholic. So can we explain how Nathan got outside to begin with? Did he like jump out of a fucking window or what?
I clearly was not watching that moment. Neither.
That's so funny.
Neither.
Well, but either way, he sees the Santa Claus figure dragging the red bag into the forest. Mm-hmm. That's where this happens. Okay. So what was he looking for in the snow? Was it his phone? Was it shoes? He asks the dog to help him. He's like, Rexy, come here and help me find whatever I dropped in the snow. What the fuck was it?
It must have been a phone.
It had to have been, right? Oh, no. He lost his slipper.
The Papa
He
Bear
lost his
slipper.
Oh, he lost his slipper. That's what it was. Okay, so he finds his way back to the cabin and talks with MJ a bit. MJ offers to go find her since homeboy's an idiot. And all this time, Jess is upstairs asleep. Did you notice that Jess went to bed?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel bad for Jess because not only is she the one of the two better actors here.
No, but she's the only one that got dick.
Yeah, but she's also in the worst of the situations. Like, she's sad. Like, this is not going the way she wanted for the last year. She's had this guy, and now it might not work out for her. It kind of sucks. Like, her Christmas has been ruined by this bitch. She should have stayed in a coma.
Honestly, go away. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, why is she friends with her?
And Nikki does suck, dude. Nikki does suck. And that was another one of my notes at one point. Like, these people would never be friends, even based on their performances. Like, based on the way they're written, they're not actually friends. Yeah. And real friends don't treat each other the way that they all have treated Nikki over the last year. I don't think. But what do I know?
They put her there. They put her in that coma.
They did, dude. I thought this whole time that the Santa Claus character was never a figment of her imagination. And it was always someone that she knew, but we'll get to that in a minute. I think at this point, I'm just more concerned about the dog being killed.
Oh, man, don't even say that.
Well, they do kill her. They chop her head off. It's really, really bad. It's gross. They don't show it. They do show the dog's head, but they don't show the act of it. So Jess hears what's no doubt footsteps on the roof, and MJ has an encounter with Santa Claus outside while she's looking for her keys. And that's a really creepy moment too, because Santa like grabs her hand while it's reaching for the keys. And in his scary voice, he says, "Go tell them that Santa's real." I can't even do it justice. I have to find a clip. It's spooky. And the way that he holds onto her hand and then just lets go and just lets her walk away and is watching as she goes. In a one horse open sleigh. The mask is crazy, dude.
The mask is like probably one of the best Santa Claus horror masks I've ever seen made.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So I should have offered the trigger warning beforehand, but this is a trigger warning for a terrible animal death. And I know we don't see it, but we do get the aftermath, like I said. So Rexy was definitely slaughtered and beheaded, and her head is left inside Jess's bed, which is obviously a reference to The Godfather. And I think it works pretty well in this.
I agree.
Hello? Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Hi.
I agree.
Okay. It's a weak ass script. There is so many missing links. Like I said earlier that it would benefit from being shorter, but I guess it would benefit from being longer because it would fill in the plot holes too. Honestly, how confusing, because that also goes hand in hand with me like not liking it, but also liking it. Like it's an interesting.
That's what it is though.
Conundrum.
Like had it just been longer and fill those blanks, that's probably just would have worked better.
I love that none of these kids know how to operate a landline, by the way.
No.
Because every time they pick up the landline, they're like, what's this? Nathan calls 911, also 411 in these parts, and speaks with the sheriff, who offers zero help, but also they lose the connection. They go outside to attempt to find help and hear Christmas music in the distance. You know, by the band hired to make the Christmas soundtrack. Thank you, the Imaginaries. We'll tag them too.
Yeah, they deserve that. They sound like they used to be the band for the Teletubbies.
They remind me of the Weepies.
Oh, gosh.
And the Weepies produced Mandy Moore's best album, Wild Hope. So I don't know if that's good or not. So we get a mistletoe moment, and it's just so out of place. Like, they have a conversation, Jess and Nathan, about where they stand in their relationship and how they're probably not going to move forward. It's just out of place. It just doesn't fit. because I don't care about what's happening with them.
No.
I really don't. And then he gets nervous to kiss her, but like he wasn't nervous to eat that puss just hours ago with his girlfriend across the hall.
I mean, he's a dude.
I do love when he compares Nikki to Jesus because they were both resurrected. That's kind of fun. Okay, so Nathan suggests that they stop seeing each other. Jess pretends to be on the same page, and just then the garage door they're standing in front of opens ever so slightly. Stupid Nathan bends down to look inside and is hit in the head with a brick. Jessie snatches an axe and takes off. She's not scared enough, so although we do think that she's the best actress in this movie, she doesn't wear scared as well as she should in this situation. I don't think.
No.
But little MJ does, girl. Our girl is crying in the car. She's stuck in the snow. She wants to find help, and she wants to find Nikki, but she can't move. We want more of this.
She gonna die.
Yeah, we want more of that, whether she dies or not.
She gonna die.
Jess is inching her way through the snowy woods, axe in hand, because why she decided to run into the woods is beyond me. I don't know. But we get one of my favorite shots of the movie here, and that's when she kind of backs into the Santa mask to kill her. You know what I mean? And then she has that axe, and her reaction is good.
Yeah,
and then Santa brushes her hair and does more of the Santa voice stuff. I love that part. Oh, he says, "Tell me, little girl, have you been naughty or nice?" I sound like not him.
No.
So I was hoping we would get at least more of a suited Santa figure causing mayhem. So I appreciate the shots of Santa that we do get, and like him dragging Jess through the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes too long to get here anyways. Like, the movie feels already like it's dragged just to get to this moment of Santa Claus.
And the ending is just so whack. Like, we're getting there, but the ending is just so whack because there's just so many poor decisions made by the actors to where it's not believable, and it's fucking irritating because it takes you out of it. So if you were in it at all, like, you're probably not going to be at the end unless it's just for laughs, which sucks because that's not why we're doing this, you know? Okay, so stupid Nathan makes it to the church and couldn't be happier, but honestly, I just hate this character and how stupid he is, and I want him to die. Like, he's Jewish, and he does like a Hail Mary when he gets to the church, and he's all like pretending to be out of breath because he doesn't know how to act.
What are you doing?
We get more electric candles within the church. I'm a sucker for those electric candles, dude. I think
those are cool.
Really cool, yeah.
They do the Harry Potter. Is that the ones with the battery operated?
Yeah, I think so.
You could hang those from your ceiling like Harry Potter.
I love them. I'm also a sucker for campy church moments in movies like this. And I say that because this is almost an exact replica from the 2012 version of Silent Night. Did you ever see the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night called Silent Night?
I'm pretty sure.
You had to have. But there's a scene in that movie that is directly stolen in this, like to use it in here. It's wild. The whole entire church scene. Anyway, the priest is fun though.
The priest here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's that guy from the Blair Witch.
What?
He's from Blair Witch.
Who is?
That the priest here.
You promise?
I promise you. Where did I read it?
David Mitchum Brown.
Yes.
You were in Blair Witch, sir. Which one? Which Blair Witch?
The last ones.
The Blair Witch Legacy.
There you go. 10 Days in a Madhouse.
What is that? What is the Blair Witch Legacy?
Now we gotta watch.
Directed by Jason Hawkins, a documentary film team heads to Burkittsville to find out the truth behind the Blair Witch Project. What the fuck? It can't be like great.
It has to be one of these films, right?
It's a 2018
the same David
movie.
Mitchum Brown.
I mean, but he's an okay actor, right? He's like, not terrible.
You said he was okay. He's a lot of fun here, so
he was okay. Okay, where were we? Oh,
we're at the church.
Oh yeah, we are. You know, the father goes on to yell at Nathan about Santa Claus being a mockery of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and he isn't wrong. And I never really thought about it until this viewing, like the last time we watched it. I could understand why people wouldn't like the concept of Santa Claus. Like, it is kind of weird, like a fat burglar sneaking into your house, and
kids sitting on his lap.
Kids sitting on his lap.
He's only attracted to kids.
He only likes kids. We were watching that movie, not the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, but there's another version from the 80s that has Dudley Moore. He plays an elf. And John Lithgow is in it as well. That was like a weird experience. because it's like we really look at Santa Claus like a important figure. Like we do, and we're raised in a society where
an idol of what is it? Just to be nice. Like he is the representation of to be nice and not naughty. To do good deeds.
Yeah,
weird.
I remember being threatened a lot when I was a kid. Like be good. Or Santa Claus, like that's like an actual thing. And I remember that. And I would write letters to Santa Claus. I would get letters back from Santa Claus. I probably still have those letters.
It's like, it is a hammer that parents use anyways.
So weird. Anyway, one of my favorite stories from the Augustin Burroughs collection is how he got the two confused, Santa Claus and Jesus. So everybody go read that. Go read stories for Christmas. Augustin Burroughs is my spirit animal as far as authors go. What's interesting is that this movie feels longer than it is, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, so Santa, we hear him singing, or saying rather, "'Twas the night before Christmas," and we get this long shot on the blue, dark, snowy woods that's really fucking nice. And then we end up in the garage where Jess is tied up. And by tied up, I mean they have like ribbon around her, the back of her hands. And whoever tied her to the chair did not do a good job. And then we have Nathan sitting against two tires with one string of Christmas lights that is subduing him.
Like, that's what I do to myself when I'm putting them up around the roof. Like, tie them around my body. Like that.
There's no way that he can't free himself from the situation unless he was injected with some sort of numbing.
And what's the purpose of decorating
liquid
the garage? There's like wreaths and like stockings hanging around the wall.
Oh, they were making a movie. That's why.
Yeah. Don't forget Christmas in the garage. Everybody puts Christmas in the garage.
So while Jess is tied up in the garage and Nathan is also quote unquote tied up, MJ is looking around the empty house for all of her friends. I just can't believe that we're made to believe that they can't move.
Yeah.
And the noises that Nathan is making, he's like, oh my.
Like he's really struggling, and he's moving like a fucking an animatronic at a haunted house in Universal.
There we go. I like that. Oddly enough, though, Jess frees herself and quietly reaches for a menorah that she smashes into Mickey's face.
How's this for Jewish?
Oh, yeah, yes, Nikki, because this is where we find out that Santa Claus is Nikki. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Are we disappointed?
A little.
Because we knew, of course.
Yeah.
Or because we actually wanted something different to happen.
Well, Nikki she could have gave more.
I wanted something
like
different.
She could have smiled creepy, like she could have been like, bitch.
She's just so disconnected from the role, the actress, that like it doesn't land the way that it should. On paper, I'm sure it did.
Probably has the idea in her head. She just didn't know how to transfer it out, in person.
Yeah. No, tisk tisk. So we get this back and forth between Nikki and Jess of why she's doing this, and it's because all of her friends moved on, and she's jealous that her man left her for her, and then she decides to gut Nathan. She rips his stomach right open, stabs him, and his intestines actually fall out, and he doesn't even know how to die. Like, he doesn't know how to act a death.
No,
it's the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen.
Like, please just die.
And you're just laughing, like you shouldn't be laughing. And again, the only person taking their 5 minutes of fame here seriously is our girl Scarlett Sperduto.
She ain't gonna waste that shit. Her father told her, I'm paying for acting class, you are gonna pay.
She getting that SAG card. So Jess attacks Nikki. Somehow this turns into that little bitch moment where Jess openly mocks her and tells her that Nathan couldn't stand going down on her.
Oh my gosh, what a moment.
And this is while Nikki is on top of her, like straddling her with a sharpened candy cane, like held as a weapon.
Yeah, and Scarlett's doing her job.
Yeah, and Jess tells her, your man didn't like to go down on you because you were a pillow princess. And what is Nikki's response?
She's going to stab the bitch in the eye with the candy cane.
So this does have it's not an icicle death, but it's very
death
comparable.
by a candy cane.
We love that.
Yeah. Fucking dope. Like, this is so fucking cool. She literally turns her eyeball into a blown out asshole.
Yeah. Oh my God, Alejandro. Lord help you.
Y'all seen those. Google it.
Lord. Okay. I love that. So Nikki just drags a bag into the living room where the Christmas tree still glows, because keep in mind she just killed Nathan and Jess. She removes all these bloody boxed gifts and starts placing them under the tree. They are clearly body parts. The Caro syrup is so thick here.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, come on, you guys. What the fuck is happening? I used to make fake blood with Ryan Co. all the time.
Ugh.
And this is exactly what it looks like.
I think that's what they gave me at Starbucks today.
Oh, God.
That fucking thick.
Every time we go to Starbucks, it just gets worse and worse. It's like McDonald's.
What's happening?
What are we doing here? I do love the close-up on Nikki, though, as she licks the bloody candy cane in the scene
dope.
before this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so MJ ends up coming downstairs, and she is so happy that Nikki is okay, and tells her even that Santa Claus is out killing people. Or do we think that MJ actually knows that Nikki is the killer and is trying to throw her off by telling her, like, oh, Santa Claus is out there? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I read this necessarily, because as she hugs her and as Nikki hugs her back, she tells her, she's like, you've always been right. Santa is real.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a moment where she could just be trying to appease her psycho friend and get like the knife from her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me.
So when that was happening, I was like, come on, MJ, you're not that dumb. Don't be dumb, girl. I do like the fact that she's disillusioned by the whole Santa Claus stuff a little bit and like plays into it. But then as that happens, and as she says, you've always been right, Santa isn't real, we see a pair of big black boots descend from the chimney into the fireplace.
No, MJ.
So we're left to wonder, like, what the fuck just happened? We thought that Nikki was Santa Claus. We thought that she was the one killing and like had snapped, but we're led to believe that there is a Santa Claus figure coming down the chimney right now. So
it's just one of those like out of body. You have to put it together that it's in her head and Santa Claus is entering the room at the moment. So it's going to become her. Like, you know, like he's in the room right now. So it's no longer me that's going to kill you. It's
yeah. So what if MJ didn't even see the legs?
Yeah.
Right.
She's not supposed to. She's not. Only us, the audience, are supposed to see that. Not her, because this is happening in Nikki's head.
It's why I need you here.
This is why I'm here.
This is why I need you here, Grandma.
This is why I'm here. Death by a string of lights. Death by a string of lights.
The death by the string of lights is a fucking joke.
Can he die already?
Like, and he didn't die by the string of lights. He's killed by a cardboard knife.
No. This is like that one girl in Scary Movie where, are you going to kill me? You know, ooh. And he just doesn't fucking die. Like, just die.
Not to compare that to this.
No, not at all. Like, still, these are my guts. You want to taste them?
We rewound it a little bit so we can watch the scene where he's gutted and he's like just pulling his own fucking stupid guts out.
You would have died.
My God.
And then here comes this girl choking Nikki by a sweater with a sweater.
So yeah, guys, that's Santa isn't real. On the gory gaydar, what would you give this?
Fatality.
I would say a 3, just a solid 3
out of 5.
Yeah.
Damn, girl.
Yeah, I would say 2.5, but honestly, I'm not gonna stop watching it because it's crazy. It's a crazy movie. In all honesty, I feel like it's a proper angry movie. We all get that angry, and it's a good revenge movie too. You kind of do get mad at her friends for fucking, behind her back. It could have been played out so much better, but they honestly didn't care about what she was going through while she was in a coma either.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at Nikki. I just wish she would have done a fucking better job.
Yeah, I wish that Kaya Coleman.
I feel that by her fifth movie,
more.
By her fifth movie or well-produced movie with a fucking good angry director that'll put that bitch on check, will be so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. I have faith in her.
I don't think your rating's too far off. I would have given it a 2, like a 2.5.
I was gonna say 2.5.
Just because it's watchable. It's watchable and it's fun to laugh at. Like, it is fun to laugh at, and the moments that are good are good. So, I mean, plain and simple, that's a fun little Christmas slasher, and I think that it's going to grow a cult status of sorts over the years, like as the years pass by, because of we're yelling at the screen, we're laughing at moments we're not supposed to laugh at. It's got cult shit written all over it.
The Candy Cane Kill does it all. Like, that shit's a fucking dope ass moment.
That's like a huge reason to watch it.
Yeah.
Huge reason. So I would say the mask, like the costume itself, the voice of Santa Claus, the Santa Claus figure as a whole, and then some of the kills are like they're okay. Some of the kills are fine, and there are some moments between particular actors that work. But that's about all. That's
not to ruin everybody's moment, but Santa Claus is a person that lives in every single person. It's like something that we all are. Like, Santa Claus is inside of us, and that's what Nikki is trying to deliver, the message that Santa is not real. he lives inside of us, and it all depends on how you want to, maneuver this Santa Claus inside of you.
It does make us that were medicated on Zoloft look kind of bad, though, because it's like if you skip your Zoloft for a year, you're probably going to turn into a psycho Santa killer.
And also that muscle dystrophy isn't real either, because this bitch is solid. She can eat a burger as soon as she gets out of fucking coma, and she's fine. So.
You think that she was actually in a coma?
No.
She's faking that shit.
She's faked it all. MJ created all this shit. Now she's watching from the window outside.
You're right. How funny. We're in this together.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. All right.
Fly.
So yeah, guys, Santa isn't real. I gave it a 2.5. He gives it a 3, right?
Santa isn't real. It makes you feel like you wish this movie wasn't real.
I kind of want to watch the sequel.
Hey, you.
We are probably not going to be back on this end for a couple of weeks. I think we're going to mellow out through the rest of the year and then be back maybe the first or second week of January. We got a lot of movies that we want to talk about, though. Now that we're settling and now that things are culminating and coming together in a lot of good ways, we're going to have more time for this. So, yeah. Thanks for listening. If you want to reach out to us, feel free. thegorygaze@gmail.com. You can find us on Threads. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. Feel free to reach out with any comments or suggestions. Again, Miko Hughes, come on our show. And all of you have a Merry, Merry Christmas. And I hope everybody gets everything that they want.
Yeah, and honestly, stay tuned for some more upcoming fun from the Gory Gaze here.
Yeah, including t-shirts.
Yes.
Including t-shirts. All right, Gory Gay. Stay gory.
Stay gay.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Also, real quick, next episode we'll cover.
We said bye.
I know. We'll cover our favorite movies of 2024. Just a heads up, because we saw almost all the ones.
Yeah, they're so good this year.
All the ones. Okay.
It's so hard because you wanted to start a podcast because there's so many good classic movies, but now comparing like to the good movies that they're throwing out in 2023 to 2024 kind of beats the game.
Okay, now goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.